Hey guys, how's it going? It's Carrie here with another Exos Heroes video, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the new core reverse on WILKES here. And before we get into it, if we could get a like on this video, that'd be awesome. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want more Exos Heroes content. So with that out of the way, let's talk about WILKES here, and let's see just how good this core reverse actually is. So we already have a character that is essentially not used in anything. The only time I ever used WILKES was in the beginning of the game, lunar days, so Sundays. Finding a character that could break the early waves in the challenges was a little tough. WILKES was able to fill that role. So if you're an early game player, then WILKES is a good character. Doesn't mean she's worth pulling for, but just the rare, not the fake core, was actually usable. That's the only time I've ever, in the history of me playing this game, ever used WILKES. And then they came out with the fake core of her. The only thing that you can really think about using her for is if you happen to pull her, she's not entirely useless because we have the core memory of her. She's in the FC Janai core reverse here. You're probably never going to bring her onto your team. Pretty impactful fake core here where you're going to want to get these stats up for FC Janai. It's hard to say which core memories are more important than others, but I would say this is an incredibly important one because not only do generals you want to have their stats as high as possible because their stats directly affect whether or not their passives apply, but she's just very naturally squishy, so having those extra stats really matters. I'd say this is a decently sought after core and memory for a lot of people. That's about it when it comes to the character. And that's before the core reverse. Now we're going to have a couple buffs to the character to try to incentivize people pulling for her. The last few of them have been pretty garbage, but some core reverses have made the characters absolutely incredible. Tantalo, FC Annie, FC Lepin. Maybe this character will be on that level. Okay, so now that we have an idea how she's perceived before the buff, let's take a look at how she is now. We have the current passive Mana Absorb, so we know she's a very slow character. Removes enemies buff and grants mana. Then Superstar afflicts target with attention mark for 7 turns when the skill hits, increases all damage over time on the target hero with attention by 100%. Then Fan Club afflicts target with anti-fan mark when attacked, triggers double team from all living allies if the health of the enemy with anti-fan is 30% or lower once every 7 turns. And then the new addition here is Shout Out, increases hit of all allies by 50% at the start of battle, removed upon successful hit. So I would say this is going to essentially make your next move almost a guaranteed hit, just based on how hit works in this game. I feel like each point of hit really matters. I think this is very negligible. Potentially, if I'm really trying to get creative here on how good this passive will be, it's going to be a niche case. Maybe there's some PvE content down the line. You might need to really hit something, or they make something hard to hit. I don't know. But that's the only thing I can ever imagine this being useful. If this was something where it was just increases hit of all allies by 50% at the start of battle, but they removed the removed upon successful hit part, it still wouldn't be used, but it would be some kind of weird thing you can tech in maybe. But it being removed immediately after you hit someone, it doesn't even make it as like some kind of weird tool that you would barely use, but someone could remember. So pretty garbage update there. And then, okay, so we have more text down there. Then her active 1 is unchanged, increases attack of allies by 20% of own attack. This scales with combat power, so the percentage can get higher. I don't know how high it usually gets. I haven't really seen someone build out their WILKES. Okay, so most games, when they have an attack up, usually add some kind of turn meter to it. In this game, it's just like a massive waste of a turn. Also, how this game calculates turns is it calculates 7 turns is just the next 7 people that goes. So it's really not that long. If they're going to be adding these moves, they need to add something where it increases the speed of everyone on your team and gives you an attack up, or they start increasing attack for like 30 turns. Like that's the only way it's ever going to make a difference in this game if they're going to keep adding these passives. Okay, and then lastly we have the A2 here, where it's the old version dealt 25% damage to all enemies and then corrodes target, dealing 15% damage every turn for 2 turns, whereas the new version actually costs 1 mana now, whereas the old one didn't. So the new one deals 51% damage to all enemies, corrodes target, dealing 31% damage every turn for 2 turns, and then decreases block of targets by 15 for 12 turns. So this is another example of decreasing block for only 12 turns is really not going to matter too much, and doubling a move that doesn't hit at all doesn't matter. Who cares? You know, being able to deal 51% damage compared to 25. Yes, it's 100% increase across the board, but completely worthless. And then when it comes to block, if the game actually gave us how much 15 block actually increases block, then I'd be able to accurately evaluate how good or bad that is. But in this game, I really don't think you're going to notice the difference of 15 block. I really don't. Even though I don't even know what 15 block does. I don't know the exact calculation for it. It's not in the game. I haven't seen anyone calculate it. I've seen, rumors on it, but there's no way of knowing. And it's just really frustrating trying to evaluate something something like that. So overall, a pretty lackluster core reverse here. So I think this is going to be a really good opportunity to save your Zess. And I really like that this character is not that good. I can't think of a single reason why you would justify wanting to pull for this character. There's no phase in the game ever where this character is going to be good. So just save your Zess, don't pull for her. There's a lot of characters that are already confirmed and rumored to be coming through. The big one is going to be FC Schmid. So I'm surprised, to be honest, that they're not trying to incentivize us even harder to want to pull for these characters. Wait for Schmid. Also, there's FC Kylock that's coming through as well. Based on how they've been releasing these characters, if I had to do some guessing on how they're going to be doing this, is the original generals, there's really not that big of a difference between the general and the fake core version of them. If you look at Bathory, Rachel, Shufraken, it's noticeable and matters because of the core memory and the extra stats you get from having the fake core, but the actual kit does not change much. I think that precedent changed with FC Janai, where it completely changed the character and made her an absolutely amazing character when you compare her to the original Fated version and to the fake core. I think that is going to be the new norm when it comes to these new generals. I think the fake core for Schmid is going to be absolutely game-changing. I think the FC for Dorka down the line, even though I haven't seen anything confirmed about her coming through, I think that one's actually going to be completely busted. So there's that part of it. The general side of it, I think that's going to be the new precedent. So you really want to be ready for being able to pull for the any general that is rumored to be coming out. Also, FC Kylock is probably going to be, if I had to guess, it's going to be on the level of that second in command character for your team, like FC Valentina, FC April. I guess you could say Rara, but essentially no characters on like Rara's level except other generals. I think it's going to be one of those key characters you're going to need to have because it'll be Kylock plus Dorka for that team. So you're going to have a really good general character, and then they're going to have the second in command come out for a really good general in the future in Dorka. So you really want to have a ton of Zess for the characters to come, in my opinion, if you really want to stay caught up on the meta. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys are going to be going for Schmid or Kylock or both. And with that, you guys have a good one. Peace.